Retro Talk Forum.
Come on through. Let's talk kicks. Let's talk 80s and 90s nostalgia, man.
Good people. What's going on, everybody?
Welcome.
Back again. Is this the third or the fourth time in a row?
It's 3 weeks in a row, man.
3 weeks in a row, man. It's
We're
been a while.
We're trying to break records around here, man.
Yeah, we've been back to back like that for a while, man. But yeah, man, definitely got a special show for everybody this evening. I'll get the introductions out of the way. We're gonna go straight to it. I'm Hop 18. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna introduce everybody else to the other side. We got Black. Y'all know who Black is. We got the young OG V on the other side, and we got Cadillac Jackson down below. And honestly, man, this man really needs no introduction. Living legend in the game.
The Don Dada of design.
Yes. One of the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say enough about him, man. Very humble guy. If you meet him in person, he don't mind talking to you. He don't mind telling you stories. Just an amazing individual that's trying to bring people together. And we're very glad to have him here. And that's none other than Aaron Cooper. Aaron AC Cooper, man. Thank you for coming on, AC. We really appreciate your time, man. Just give a little intro. Tell the people about yourself real quick.
I've been in footwear for 30 years. Came in from an industrial designer. Went to school at the Art Center College of Design. Before that, very humble beginnings. Father was a preacher. Mom was a social activist. So I believe there's empathy in my genetics, which leads to being a good designer. Design is all about finding empathy with the population you're trying to serve. And I was the first Nike design intern, and then went straight into Nike basketball as the company started going into category specific. Found myself Nike basketball 94 to 2004, 10 years, amazing decade. Started with Pippen, finished with LeBron when he was in high school, and lots of stories in between, and just feel very blessed and just right place, right time. I mean, put in the hard work, of course, to, and you can't win the lottery without buying the ticket, right? So I did what I needed to do to put myself in position for it. But, a lot of things happen, and there are strokes of luck along the way. And I've just found myself in a place where, we didn't know what we were doing in terms of like this, trying to build this culture called sneakers, and we were just trying to create the world's best basketball shoes that would be inspiring and create, emotions for kids that saw them and wanted to wear them and play the game in them. And so it's turned into me being on this YouTube call with you guys, and which I just, after meeting some of you and other people that have helped create this community, that's why I want to give back. I just want to keep giving back and what I've done over 30 years, and see if we can. Honestly, I can go real high and real big quickly, but my vision is that before I leave this planet, I've done something to make it to be a better place and brought more people together than divided them apart. And so I know with the power of people like you, we can do it. And if I can be an enabler to make that happen, then that's something I'm going to spend part of my time doing. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help.
Nice.
So that attitude that you got, have you always had like that attitude, even as a kid, just like wanting to give back, just wanting to do for others?
Yeah, I like I said, I think it's, we're all a creation of nature and nurture. Genetics are incredibly strong, so I was blessed with that. And then I grew up in a very open home. Like I said, my father being a preacher, and he was the first one in the Pacific Northwest to hire a female pastors. This is like late 70s, early 80s, so it didn't go over very well. But he didn't care, like that didn't register with him. And my mom, being a social activist, volunteering at NAACP for many years, also a theater actress. So, that comes with a lot of, color and gender identities and all sorts of stuff. For whatever reason, like that, just, there's an attraction there. Birds of a feather flock together. So that, in theater, there's a lot of people like that. And so my house was just, I didn't know each other. They're just like wonderful people. I didn't, just the way it was. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, I was, but I was. I will also say, this is part of the story. My mom was bipolar, so I grew up with that, which was wild, and so I was truly grew up with a father that preached the Bible and belief and about all things were created equal. And my mom literally, if you gave her a gun with one bullet and said you had to kill this person or that animal, she pointed to herself and kill herself like that because she was mentally depressed. And so that's the world I grew up in. So, and then creativity was part of my life too. So and then to get out of the house, athletics and sports, and played basketball in the driveway, and it just that all that mashed up together to put me where I'm at, literally, when I'm here, So, and now I'm trying to figure out what does all that mean, and where am I going from here into the future, and how can we help each other create the world that I believe the five of us want to see, based on meeting three of you and like Justin, you said, like that the room we were all in. I mean, if you brought somebody off the street and said, "Okay, take all the shoes out of the room. What are we all here for?" They'd be like, "I have no idea." Right? That's what I'm trying to create. Like, bring this community together, because sneakers break barriers. They bring people together. They break performance barriers, gender barriers, financial barriers, racial barriers, national barriers, you name it. And I've seen it for 30 years. And so that's what I'm trying to bring together, the most unlikely crew of human beings. And I do, every year is a bit of a test to see what I can push on for the next year. So if we're all so blessed, I plan on making this happen again next year. And there's a small group of us from the original year that has been helping, and I'm blessed to have their help. And I don't know, maybe some of them are on the call or on the Zoom, or the YouTube. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we need younger people. We need more genders. We need, we just need to just keep working on the eclectic nature of the group.
Nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So my question is, what was the mindset when you started thinking like, I don't even know if y'all started calling it the gathering, but what was the mindset of like, I have to figure out a way to change the narrative of, I guess you'd say, sneaker conventions, or not a convention, but just a sneaker. Might as well say gathering.
The gathering.
Yeah, might as well say gathering. I mean, that's like the best word to use right now.
Yeah.
What was the mindset of trying to change that?
Until the word church came along, they were gathering to celebrate their culture. right? Until the word synagogue came along, they were gathering to celebrate their culture. So until another word comes along, we'll just call it a gathering. Because I think it's, and I've been told this, that once you get in the room, you know, sneakers bring us together. But I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, the three of you that were there, I mean, you didn't spend that much time talking about the specifics of sneakers. You talked about life and your family and
Absolutely.
where you've been, and what you're doing, and where you want to go. And so that's why I just call it the gathering. I keep calling it that, and we'll see where it goes from here. But it originally, I've had this hypothesis. I all my projects have ongoing hypotheses, including my own life and including what I believe life is all about. And so I just keep banging my life and what I'm doing currently against all those hypotheses, and I tweak them along the way. So I've had this hypothesis about this community and what I could do to help build it, and all the things that were going on at Nike and within the industry, and everything's kind of going into this hypotheses. And then when Steve Sneaker Tech Talk DM'd me and said, hey, you know, this was after I got on Instagram and started sharing stories, and he said, hey, I've always wanted to go to Portland. If I ever come, would you let me, you know, could I buy you a cup of coffee and just, you know, meet you? And I'm like, I mean, if anybody travels here to Portland, and I'll, you know, whoever's on the call now, like, anybody coming to Portland, just reach out. Like, if I have the time, for sure going to be there. And so I told Steve that, and long story short, before I knew it, there are other people asking the same thing, and they kind of knew each other on Instagram. And so I kind of vetted everybody out. Like, if I got all these people together, would that be a good mix, or would be there any tension, or I don't know. Like, I didn't know these people. Right. So I vetted that out, and all of a sudden, you know, long story short, there's 15 people in my house, invited from all over the world, because there were a couple of different countries. And then I brought guests in that were local, Tinker being one of them, just wandering into my house, which he does. I was surprised. I didn't tell anybody. And it was funny because it was a hot day and the whole house was open. And he just kind of, because he lives in the neighborhood, he's just a good friend, and he, you know, just wanders into the house like he does on any summer evening. And that was funny. But so that was the first year. And then the guys said, you know, hey, we're going to come back regardless of whether or not you have it. And I'm like, well, let's see. You know, so that organically grew, doubled in size. And I was able to dedicate some more time. I mean, the first year was all my money. The second year was a combination of, and then this third year, you know, asking for a contribution so that, you know, I would love to, if I ever win the lottery, one of the ways you will know is that it will be all expenses paid. So Chris, get ready, because you and your wife will be coming. And your
yeah. Anniversary in Oregon, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
speak that into existence.
Yes, you gotta buy. I didn't win this last one, but I threw in a ticket. Every once in a while, I'll just be like, you know what? Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
So you saying that the first one started at your house?
The first year, yeah, was I organized. It was a one-day event. People flew in. We met up in the morning, and then went out to Nike, the Department of Nike Archives, little campus thing, and then it ended at my house for a family community dinner. And then the second year, the gathering itself that's the moment for me. However, the night before, when everybody's coming in and meeting each other at the hotel, there's some magic that happens.
Man,
it's wild.
Yes.
It's so imagine this. Our grandparents, you know, they wrote each other letters. they may have had the opportunity, pen pals, they may have had the opportunity to meet each other in person. Well, great grandparents probably didn't even talk on the phone. Then our grandparents, could at least hear voice. Maybe send a picture, right? But a lot of people didn't meet each other for a lifetime. And then transportation got easier, and then people would meet each other for the first time. But they went from letters to phone conversations to meet each other in person. Now we have, this video capability and Instagram and DMs and all this. And I've known people, I've just, you guys might be some of them. We didn't get that far in our stories, but I knew people that have known each other. Oh yeah, he's a friend. He or she is a friend on Insta, or he or she is a really good friend. I'm like, oh, you've met him before? No. We haven't met each other yet. Oh, but you talk to each other all the time. Well, we DM each other all the time, but they consider each other friends, right? And then it kind of grows into maybe have a Zoom call or a FaceTime or whatever. And then but there's always the screen between them. I witnessed in the hotel room these friends coming together. They see each other from across the room, and there's distance, just like there's a screen between each other, but it doesn't feel all that different. So they're not. And I'm literally just this is what I do for a living, is just watch people and take it in. And as soon as they got closer and closer, the screen, you could see the distance starting to dissolve.
Right.
And then two people hugging, that if you pulled somebody off the street and said, these two people, they're like, yeah, these two people, I don't think it was just a weird, you wouldn't necessarily put these two people together, let alone, coming in for a big, strong hug. And then as soon as they feel the physical connection, you could see like a double clutch come in. It was like a stronger sensation. And then they separated, and then you could see like this emotion on their face almost kind of overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, this is what humanity is all about. This is a human truth. We need to be with each other physically. For how long and how often, that's to be debated, but it's a scientific truth that we feed off each other's physical energy.
Yeah.
So what is the balance of physical connection with the digital, connection that continues and sustains that over time? Like, how often do we need to get together physically to continue building that relationship? I don't know. That's something that that's part of my hypotheses for next year, and how I am building this, and talking with the guys that are helping to build it, like what we talk about, and what is the formula so that everybody feels this love that is among us. I don't want to say that it's shared yet. It may be for some of you. It may be, and Chrissy talked about, turning into family, like these guys that you wouldn't have otherwise been with that are now you consider family. So how long, what do we need to do to keep building so that, these barriers and there were some barriers there, honestly. Well, I'll say it, because I know there's some people from this year that would say that there were barriers between us. And I did what I could to break some of that barrier down before they got here. I did more, in person, and by the time they left, they said they're all in, like the barrier's gone.
Yeah.
And they want to help break down barriers with other people.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
Maybe.
But I was gonna say whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because
Absolutely.
that's exactly how it felt. I mean, even with people that we didn't know, it was people that I had never spoken to or wasn't even following, but coming away from that, it was like, yeah, there's a lot of dope individuals that I met, and they seem like some good people.
And that's the crazy thing, though. And that's the vision that I have for my life in this world is the same thing. And for this community is all part of it. Is that I want to, when I leave this world, I want to believe that we're all celebrating the global community, of which there's individual communities that we're all celebrating together, and we can slip into one community and celebrate their culture and slip out another one and celebrate their culture, and they're celebrating us, and we're all doing it together and just sharing stories and coming together because of that. Like and like, wow, your community is super cool, different than my community, but I get it. Like, this is our culture, that's your culture, and let's, you know. And there's super dope people all over the world, and you will be surprised. And I've seen it many times where it's like, whatever bias you may have when you walk in, if there's something that brings you together, like a shoe, like a yellow wristband that started with a company, you know, called Livestrong, like, there's things in our global culture, global community that does bring us together, that you see someone across the room and you're like, that person's okay. And then you get together, you talk because of the community, because of the culture. And then you later find out that they are pretty much an extreme opposite of what you are in something. But you're like, but you know what? That's okay. And actually help me understand why you feel that way, or why you think that way, or why you do that, or whatever. Like, you can at least have a conversation now. And that, to me, is what it's all about. It's all about community, culture, and conversation. And those things are a symbiotic relationship between those three things. So sneakers create the conversation that build the culture and grow the community. And that's, you can't have one without the other, and you need to have those things that all come together. And yeah, I hope to see the day that, you know, that I can walk down any street in the world with a particular pair of shoes and somebody yells out from across the street, "Yo, where'd you get those? You must be a cool dude. You must be a whatever." Like, "Hey, I remember when those came out," or I just got a pair of those myself, and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, they bring us together. That's the goal.
Hey, well, you're off to a good start. I'll tell you that.
Great start.
Absolutely.
And I think, and I'll also say, like I said before, I need all of your help. I need anybody that's, I don't even know, is there anybody even listening?
Oh yeah, we got like 20 people in the chat. We got about 20 people in the chat.
Okay, start asking questions or something. But yeah, we need all the people we can get, you know, and I will need your all's help, the people that have been, you know, because I think, funny enough, I went to my first sneaker con. Have you guys been to a sneaker con?
Yes. That's actually how most of us met.
Oh, really? Which is super cool. I just went to my first one, and I'm like, that's awesome, but that's something else.
Right.
And I think what, like, everybody can have their own little thing. Like, so I need help figuring out how big can this be without losing its, you know,
authenticity,
identity, yeah, whatever that word is, I don't know yet. But yeah, it's like, and so that's one thing I'm going to push on next year is adding a few people. Like, how do you get the right mix in the rooms, or keep the right mix? How do you program it so it still feels right? So I'm just trying to, you know, I can't share anything now, but I have an idea that may come to fruition in the spring of 26 in New York.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you this.
I'll be taking days off.
I was going to also say this. I mean, I'm pretty sure whatever you need from us, we're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Whatever you need from us, if we don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll try to find an answer.
Thank you.
So yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's the least we could do for the opportunities that you've given us, and you know, like I said, for you doing for you showing us something else, something new. Never thought we would be in that space. So truly grateful for the opportunity. Can't express that at all. You know, enough. Can't express that enough.
Thank you.
I wanna go back to that first night when you was talking about the gathering, and then what Scott said in the chat. So I was standing there just kind of like soaking up.
Oh, sorry. I'm just oh geez, there are a lot of comments. Okay, sorry. I just turned it on. Okay, so first night, what did Scott say? Catch me up.
He said an interesting observation is that other patrons at the hotel could clearly see what was going on with this group. People not connected to sneakers could see the positive vibes from the group. That's a fact.
Oh, that's
what I was getting at.
In that bar, there were like old people. There were younger people that didn't look like they even knew what sneakers are. They did notice that everybody was wearing funky shoes, right? Like I think that's how they might have described it as like, well, I don't know what's going on, but they're all wearing like funky shoes. I saw some people were like, they're all looking around, and then all of a sudden they're looking down, and they're like, huh. But yeah, that was so sorry to interrupt. Yeah, that was cool. So sorry, Chris, I interrupted you.
No, you good. I was just gonna kind of reiterate what he was saying and my experience. Like that first night we got there, and I guess you talking about a full capacity up there at that rooftop lounge or bar or whatever. And it was a family standing or sitting at a table right there eating dinner where we were standing at, and he started talking to me. He was like, "Hey man," he said, "Sneakers brought all y'all together?" I said, "Yes, sir." He was like, "Man, that is a lovely thing." He said, "What do you got on?" I told him what I had on, and he was like, "And you mean to tell me leather and rubber brought all these people together?" I said, "Man, it's no different than a car head or somebody that loves coins or
cards,
Comic-Con.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's no different. Everybody got their own community." And I kind of felt appreciative from him saying that, like, man, that is a lovely thing that sneakers brought all y'all together like this.
Mm.
So again, it shows you that people on the outside of this community see what goes on when you have the right people in that space.
Yeah,
having that camaraderie with each other. Like I said, that whole group, even though it was a large group, no issues at all.
Right.
No egos. Everybody was conversing with each other, and I want to say, and I'm not going to speak for you, but I want to say that's part of what you're looking for. The fact that everybody talk to each other for the first time or maybe for the seventh time.
True.
I think that's maybe part of what you was looking for.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was a lovely thing.
Thank you, and absolutely 100%, and that's what I believe. That is the culture, right? So sneakers are our culture, but there are other cultures, and that's one thing I do want to test next year because I've got some feedback. And that's something on my Instagram. Like I have is car culture. I have a 1969 convertible Firebird.
Yeah.
And
American Muscle. We like that. We like that, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
And I've been a part of that culture, and oh man, I mean that is deep and thick and wonderful and amazing and eclectic and all sorts of types of people and cars and all that good stuff. I've had the blessing of jumping into comic book culture down in San Diego, one of the first Comic-Cons. That was something at the end of the day, I just love culture. I love human culture. I love sneaker culture. Wine. I don't drink much anymore, but wine culture I've dove into. Tequila culture is amazing. Whiskey culture, music culture, you name it, I love it. And so one thing I want to bang on next year is the space that I believe it's going to be in will be conducive for it, where it's sneakers, but then also how much art and music can we bring in? Can we bring in more sport? Like, can we bring in some guest athletes? Can we bring in some, start pushing on that? Because I've actually been, when I was in Nike training, we had amazing opportunities where we brought different sport athletes together, like the best athlete in each sport. And in some cases, so the decathlon, the gold medalist of the decathlon is supposedly should be anyway, not supposedly should be representative of the best athlete in the world, no matter what sport. Like that is the pyramid. That is the tip of the
benchmark.
The top dog.
Yeah, top dog. So there was a guy named Brian Clay. He won the silver one year and then came back and won the gold. And I was working with him. And then we had Troy Polamalu, we had Larry Fitzgerald, we had Amari Stoudemire. What a dude. Love that guy. And other, like a handful of other athletes. And we bring them together. And they had never been together before. And so they knew each other from, except for Brian Clay. Nobody knew who. They're all kind of like, these guys aren't like the most outgoing, alpha dogs. They're just, when they get them together, all just like, oh, hi, how you doing? Meeting each other. And then they find out like what they do, and there's all around training. So how they train for their particular sport. And then Brian Clay comes in and they're like, yo, who are you? Like, what sport do you play? And he goes, I'm a decathlete. Like, what is that? And he describes, and this guy's not that big, and he describes what he does to work out. And even Troy Polamalu was like, what, you do what? Like blown away. And so training and human performance leveled all these guys out. And what brought them all together was sport and Nike, but they're all different from different walks of life, different sports, different things. But when they left the trip, they were all like friends, they shared this commonality of, it was a beautiful thing. And that's what I believe, shoes do. And Bobbito have you guys seen Bobbito Garcia's documentary, Rock Rubber 45s?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
No, not yet.
You guys know Bobbito Garcia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So first, I got the book right there. So if you see the LeBrons, this is the book is where did you get those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the first. Get that?
Okay, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is I believe the very first sneaker book. And then he's done a couple documentaries. One of them is Rock Rubber 45. So rock being the basketball, rubber being sneakers, and 45s rubber, big music. And he is like an OG of all three.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I want to kind of start pushing on for. And I've invited him. He's a friend. I've invited him every year, but he's not able to make it. But maybe one year he'll surprise me. Or maybe I can, pull this one off in New York. And although I've done 2 small ones in New York, and he couldn't come to those either. But maybe one day, if anybody knows him, just keep putting a gentle pressure on him. We'll get him there.
So, I had a question, man. I know that you had mentioned you touched base on the Firebird, which is absolutely stunning automobile. From previous interviews, I know that you had mentioned that your mother was not a car enthusiast, but she was a car enthusiast.
Oh wow! How did I'm losing track? Yes, she actually was a big car enthusiast. She actually had an old Porsche that she drove, and she dated a race car driver back in the day. So she loved. In fact, so I didn't grow up with much money. My father was a preacher. My mom a social activist and a theater actress, and social activist and theater actress. And so our family car was a Pinto, but the Pinto station
wood panels.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
But the one thing my mom made sure it had was manual. She did not want an automatic. She wanted to drive the car. Oh yeah, and she taught me how. I mean, she was a good. Yeah, and then when my dad got a new job at Boeing, and worked his way up. He actually, so I was a sophomore in high school. Imagine this, not that long ago. I guess it is a little longer, but not that long ago. But sophomore in high school, family of 4, and his starting salary at Boeing was $20,000 a year. So we were pinching pennies, And so the wood panel. So when my dad kind of worked his way up and was able to get my mom a new car, she got an Acura. I forget the name it was back then, but a little hatchback, but stick shift, and it was a spicy little. She loved driving that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so sports car.
Yeah. So I guess that's even in my genetics, maybe certainly in my nurture.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you got any chance to enjoy the Firebird recently?
In Portland, it's now raining, so it doesn't. My car does not see the rain. So,
okay.
But it gets out. One of the best times is a crispy winter day, dry streets, top down. It's a convertible, so yeah, the top doesn't. I don't drive it that much at all with the top up. Why would you?
Yeah,
exactly. Flex. Yeah.
Nice. That's the funniest thing. So I have 3 kids, and they're all in their 20s, and they love going for a drive. And so I'll have one of my daughters is 6 feet. Actually, another one's 5'11". Well, they're all 6 foot, and we're all in the packed into the car and just ripping around Portland. And people if I get on it, you'll hear it, and so it does attract some other people. And one time I saw, actually a couple times, there's been cars that'll chase me down, and I'll time lights to be able to stay ahead of them. And one time this just murdered out brand new Corvette, couldn't keep up with me, or couldn't get up to me, kept up for sure, but couldn't catch me. And then we finally finished at the one red light, and the fully blacked out, murdered out window rolls down, and he's like, "What the do you have underneath that?"
I was going to ask you what you had up under there too.
That's nice.
Yeah. My kids were just laughing, and it was a Sunday. I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? We're just out for a family Sunday joyride."
Spirited driver. That's nice, man. That's nice.
Yeah.
I think Black Ass. What did you have up under the hood?
Well, it's a Kaufman race engine. It's about a 458 cubic inch and about 575 horsepower.
Ooh,
so
very nice.
It'll move the family.
Yeah.
No doubt. Wind is definitely blowing through the hair.
Yeah.
We'll say, hold on now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow. I just randomly looked at the one of the questions. I couldn't hear him, but he say his father was a bowler.
Oh.
My father was a preacher.
I think when you said Boeing, he worked at Boeing.
Boeing.
I think that's what
Yeah,
you're getting at. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, he went from he was an Episcopal priest and then left the church. And I grew up in it. I've lived behind the church is an interesting place to grow up in. But some things happened, and he decided to take his talents elsewhere. And so Boeing hired him to be a facilitator of community, basically, of helping people realize they're part of something bigger than just themselves. And and he was amazing. Well, I was told by many, and by the packed house at his funeral, that he was an amazing man. And he was an amazing father, and I have a lot to live up to. So I try. That's also part of this. Like, what was it, a Thursday night? I don't know. I mean, it kind of could have been. It's our church, right? It's just our gathering. That's why I call it the gathering. It's just us coming together, celebrating each other.
We definitely had a congregation. There was definitely a congregation.
There you go. And and maybe when I was sharing my story, I mean, maybe I was preaching a little too much. But you know what? This is super awesome. This is you guys are making my. Yeah, this is amazing because I try not to get choked up, but if I did that night too, the same thing happened to me. But one of the things that rubbed some people in the congregation the wrong way with my dad, believe it or not, is that he would find ways from Sunday to Sunday. He would find something in popular culture that was happening in the most of the time you would try to find it going on in the area, like Seattle or wherever, to then connect that to scripture, then tell a story that helps certainly young people connect to the Bible.
Right.
And instead of like reading the Bible and thinking it was happening a long time ago, it's like, yeah, it happened a long time ago, but it's applicable to today. It's humanity.
Making the word relatable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so he was just an amazing storyteller, and he would just connect, scripture to what was happening in the world. And I mean, like the Mariners back then were not good, and he would, they might have lost, a tough game or something might have happened, and he would relate that to something in the Bible, and it was just cool. Like I have a hard time. I really have a hard time going to church now because of a little bit of the hypocrisies that happen, but also because nobody's ever going to live up to my dad. I can't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it just, so it's just that's probably the biggest community, right? Religion is probably the biggest community in the world, celebrating the culture. That's the other thing. If you guys, if we were all together right now in a restaurant, and we looked out the window and you saw someone walking down the other side of the street, even in the box underneath their arm was super small, but it kind of looked like the size of a shoe box, you'd be like, oh, that guy just bought some new shoes.
Yeah. Or we'll be like, what's in the box?
What's the box? Yep.
And if it was gray with a little red logo on it, little red kind of something or other, you'd be like, oh, she just got some Jordans. I wonder what they are, right? Or if it was an orange and brown box, she just got some, or he just got some Nikes or whatever. Like even the color would stand out. Like that is a conversation piece. So the same way, if somebody is walking by, even more contextually on a Sunday, or it's Sunday brunch, and you see somebody walking down the street with a little book, and the edge of the pages were in glowing gold or silver, you'd be like, oh, they're on their way to church.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because of that thing that they're holding, that conversation piece. Mm-hmm. And so it's loaded with a lot of bias, but it's in a positive sense, because it celebrates a culture that person is a part of, and they're on their way to become part of the community that they've decided to join. And again, that's all that for me, those are sneakers. We try to put story into their creation, and then pass them along to someone else to continue put their stories into. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, that it's just a vessel. And now if they're a game worn vessel, like the story that, it's like a Jordan, I don't know, like the Jordan, which may be one of the more famous, actually the Jordan 14, great example. If Michael had never made that shot in Utah, let's be honest, would the Jordan 14 really have its place as high up as it does in popular culture? I mean, it's a cool shoe, but is it that cool?
I mean, it's named after that shot, the last shot.
100%. Like I mentioned, it's a good design. Like I'm not, but would Tinker say it's his favorite? I don't think so. Even out of all the shoes, even out of the Jordans he's done, I don't think the 14 would like be even the top 5. But because of that shot, it's something else, because that's part of the story. And that nobody planned that. Tinker didn't know that shot was going to happen. I mean, Jordan, fellas, the Jordan 11. Mm-hmm. When I was a part of Nike basketball when that was a prototype, and we were going to playgrounds all over the country, and it was getting ridiculed. Like people were like, "What the hell?" Like, no. The designer's lost his mind. Nike's not like Michael's crazy like that. No, never. Nuh-uh. Foot Locker said they would not buy a single pair. If you keep that shiny, if you keep that shiny leather that's for girls on that shoe, that will never sell. We're not going to buy it.
Pat leather was never on sneakers then. Yeah.
And you guys remember what happened besides Jordan, because he was playing baseball, right? So he hadn't put his mark on that shoe yet. Do you remember what happened that might have been the biggest thing that happened to that shoe?
What's that? Because I think they had a story in the chat about something like this. So I want to see if it's the same
Dude,
thing.
Team
oh
Jordan.
yeah. Let's see if anybody can come up with what happened. When the Jordan 11, something happened in popular culture to that shoe that like elevated it.
I
And it
think
was-
I know.
Was-
And it was not Jordan.
Was they saying
Yeah.
that
Was
Boys
that-
to Men wore it on the red
I was about to
carpet?
say, was it the Boys to Men
right,
situation
right.
where they wore it to the Grammys?
Yeah. So so I saw this thing
That's a
on.
true story, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, but this one person, I can't remember his name. He's saying on Instagram there's no photographic
Visual
evidence
proof.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a
But
story. They're saying that
Oh, there's
Boys to Men wore it.
Yeah,
Do we-
Sean Stockman even mentioned it.
Yeah.
there's photos, there's proof. It's out for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
But they also said Jodeci wore those shoes first.
Say what?
I don't know. They also said Jodeci, the group Jodeci wore those shoes first.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know how true that is, but I've been hearing a lot of rumbles about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's my point. Is like, there's a lot of things that need to happen to a shoe. Popular culture, whoever they're intended for, like more story has to be put into the shoe for it to find its place in popular culture. That I believe it doesn't become a sneaker until that happens.
All right.
The Jordan 11 is a basketball shoe that
Yeah.
turned into a sneaker.
Yeah.
The Air Max One.
It turned into almost a dress sneaker. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
You
it,
got
yeah.
people wearing them at weddings,
Yeah.
wearing them
Oh,
with
yeah.
suits, all kind of stuff.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, they're just vessels, and if it's not for the community to continue pouring their stories into them, they don't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Mike Cartel, he said Good Burger said he couldn't find a picture of Boys to Men. He said I think someone said they asked Tinker and he didn't remember that happening either. Said it was going around a lot a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'll find it and share it with you guys. I'll put on for
So-
sure.
I wanted to ask you, I know you talk a lot about storytelling, and then you said your father was a storyteller. So when did you realize that you had that ability to be a storyteller? Like what age, and like how did you translate that to when you started designing for Nike? And whatever you was doing prior to that, was you using storytelling for that as well?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to be. I'm always trying to be a better storyteller, especially like, telling stories around the dinner table or something, and family's like, just get to it, just get to the end of the story. I mean, I guess when at Nike. I mean, as a designer, you're trying to sell your idea. I mean, I don't know if I can't remember if I was I don't remember formally being taught storytelling at Art Center, but certainly I was the first one at Nike that people used to do these huge design boards. Like the bigger you could do, the better it was, or the crazier you could put together a presentation, like the more impactful. Like it was crazy. But I started traveling to go see athletes, or we did, because it was Tinker and Michael, Eric and Anthony and Penny, and then me and Scotty. Eric I don't think Eric had traveled to see Barkley maybe once, but Barkley would come to, like, a lot of times the athletes would come to us. So you can't take these huge boards, so I broke down these boards, and also I didn't want people looking all over the board and then getting a bias towards one picture, and now they're thinking about something else and they're not listening to what I wanted to share. And so I wanted to be able to control the narrative better. So I ended up creating these 11 by 17 boards, and each one had an image that would lead into the next part of the story. So I was able to control the pace of the story and what I wanted to share and people to hear and to be able to process. So that developed during my years at Nike, and then just understanding from other people just how important story is, and just all, I guess that's been part of my hypotheses, right? And that's where, the whole, the t-shirt, it's the stories that matter.
Stories that matter. That's right.
And that became like this mantra of mine years ago that just kind of continued to resonate with people. And then I started kind of just making it more mine as my, and it's interesting. It's like before you guys went live, we were talking about it, stories and once you kind of like think about something, how many times it's like you never noticed anything until you do. And then once you do, you see it all over the place.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, once I started thinking about how important stories are, and you start hearing it more and seeing it more, and it might not be like consciously done, but you start seeing it kind of the threads of that, and so trying to figure out how to put all these things together and what that might do to what it might do to help inspire others to come in and join our community, or go find their own community. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all I care about, is that people find. That's my logo. That's what this logo is all about. The people that don't know is, it's an AC, Aaron Cooper. It's an @ which is for me about, and I think for other people, like trying to be conscious of where you're at in the moment is very important. And then my mom used to say to me that that I was a square peg in a round hole, that I have a hard time fitting in, which is true. But over the decades, I've come to realize that I think we're all square pegs in a round hole. And I think
embrace it.
Fine. I'm sorry.
I just said embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important for all of us to refine our shape, but don't try to change your shape. Just refine who you are as a human, who you're supposed to be, and then go find the place that you're meant to be, because there's a spot for everyone in the world that
Absolutely
will complete that part of of the world, and so. And so that's what I'm also trying to help people. That's been, I mentor a lot of people. And that's one thing I try to share is like, just be you, just do you, and yeah, continue to refine. Like I continue, I got a lot of problems, that I continually try to fix, and I should probably get some help, but, and it's not because I think I can do it myself. It's just, it's intimidating, I guess, but I just, I'm trying,
Is it one of those things where you just look at it as a challenge and you just want to overcome the challenge?
No, I guess I grew up with it because my mom being bipolar, and I've grown up with psychiatry, and seeing her, and maybe quite honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, as you guys help me to continue to, that's another reason why I do these things, is because this hour. Wow, it's already been an hour, and I'll keep going, by the way. But I'll keep going because I guess this is you guys are my psychiatrist. But I grew up with it, and it was expensive for my mom and my family. So, it's expensive, and I think that what I'm getting at, the gift that you all are giving me right now is far more valuable to me than me sitting down for an hour with a professional and paying them $150 an hour to tell me what I already know, that it was my mom that caused all my problems.
I think that's one thing in life that people need, is somebody to talk to, or to share stuff with, that's not gonna go around and just tell everybody else, or we all have somebody we confide in, like Caddy said, we're like family. It's more than just shoes. We talk about our families with each other, our wives, our kids, and it's just good.
A lot of people don't realize mental health is, a lot of it is compartmentalizing. You know what I mean? So it's good to be able to share and vocalize and express
Have an
your
outlet.
emotion and things like that for sure.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's to the point where sometimes you just need somebody just to sit there and listen to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
You know,
when you have, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, you know, once you have that person, like it might be a time I call Hop and hey, you know, I'm just sitting there talking. He don't say nothing, and you know that's probably a good thing because I kind of want to, you know, get my spiel out. And after that phone call or whoever I call and talk to like that, you feel a whole lot better. It seemed like almost a weight is off your shoulder a little bit. So, like V said, you know, it's definitely the mental health is definitely something that we as men, I would say men, need to work on, man. It's like don't keep it bottled in because you know what's the old saying, pressure busts a pipe. So I just feel
And
like
we
you
all,
know. Go ahead.
yeah, we also have to realize like we all go through issues, and it's okay to go through your issues. Like
Right.
Nobody's exempt. Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody's exempt. Everybody has their issues that they're going through and trying to keep their head above water. And having people who will sit down, like you said, Black, and just listen to you and be like, hey, you know, tell me what's on your mind. Like there's been times I've called Hop and Hop be like, what's going on, bro? You all right? And he just, while he's doing his thing at work, he just lets me go off. And when I'm done, he's like, you good? And you know, reel me back in, like, all right. And you know, I can, having people like that in your life is such a good thing because it's
a release.
It's a
It
release.
It's definitely a release, man.
It's a good feeling knowing that people, you know, outside of your immediate family love you and care for you just as much as your immediate family. And it means a lot. It means a lot. But yeah, we as men go through a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I guess that's also part of this community thing is the importance of just having people around you and I mean, look, everybody's life, we all go through times where things get dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of us times might get darker than others and last longer than others. And I just want to do what I can to bring light into people's world that, you know, if I can shine just a little bit of light on someone's life, and I don't know if they're like, maybe they have a bright light already, or maybe they're, you know, having the darkest day they ever had, but I just can do what I can to shine light and create a place where others can do it too, like this community. And, you know, it's all we can hope to do, I guess, for each other.
Yeah. Yes. So let me ask you this real quick. Did you know back then when you just said you, Tinker, Avar, you know, Wilson, did y'all have any idea what y'all was doing back then? Like the joy that you was bringing people?
Yeah. Well, yes.
What you was designing and what you was bringing to light?
Yeah, no doubt about that. But in terms of like what it would turn into, you know, sneaker cons all over the world and Complex Con, you know, this past weekend, right? And I've still not been to one of those. And no idea about that. I mean, I was traveling to Tokyo in the late 90s when the Max 95 was being traded across waters by sneaker boutiques, and we called it the gray market. And Mark Parker at the time was the head of product and wondering, like, should Nike shut it down? Like, is this bad for business? And he was, you know, smart enough to realize it actually good for business, you know. And how do you embrace it? How do you support it? How do you know, bring it in and support that community that's doing it? I mean, that was Nike's brilliance, you know. And I have a friend, actually, John Barber, who's a part of this community as well. He was there working in at Nike Japan when the 95 hit, and he literally saw it being bought in bulk, and either driven or biked, literally on a bike across town to another place to be resold for more money, like that same day.
Mm.
And this is way back when, like, so there were signs of things happening. And we did what we could to help support that and stoke that fire, because that's the culture. That's, you know, and we saw the community being built. And you know, I'll say, I don't know if you guys know the name Sam Siegel, but he might be he might be the godfather of sneakers that nobody even knows.
Mm-hmm.
He was in sales. You can read stories about him, but supposedly some people thought he worked for Nike. Some people thought he worked for Phil. He kind of worked for himself, but he had not only a finger on the pulse, but he had a connection into all of it goes all the way back to the beginning of Nike. And I've traveled with him. He's New York. He's an older gentleman now, but he's suit and tie, black hat, like he is sneaker like godfather. And we would go into these boutiques, and I'll tell you, last trip I had with him, this is 6 years ago, in Brownsville, a place that I wouldn't have otherwise been, and he's there with me, so people know that who I am because of him. And there's a gentleman in the shop who said that he started working there basically the same time I started working at Nike. I swear we probably met each other on one of my trips, doing a market research, and Sam we were all sharing stories. And before you know it, this gentleman, who, again, with bias, people who would have bias would see this person and not think they would shed a tear. Tough guy, grew up in a tough environment, looks the part. He is in tears sharing us the story about how Sam Siegel saved his life, and shoes saved his life. He would not be on this planet today if it weren't for Sam Siegel, sneakers, the shop he was in, all of this. Like, that's how important, sneakers and all that were to him. And that's to me is all part of this. Like, I saw that. I've been told about, people saying those shoes saved my life. Those shoes changed my life. This put me in this position to do this, to do that. Like the whole domino thing, like I've lived that. So, but it's all that. Well, actually, that wasn't in hindsight. We didn't know there. Like I said, there were all these signals happening, that there's something bigger here. That it's just like sports, right? Like we all want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. If we're so talented enough that we can be a part of a sports team, that's amazing. That's a little bit of my angst with sports today, is that it's becoming more and more of a pay-to-play model.
Especially college.
What's that?
I said, especially in college.
Oh, yeah, or to get to college, right?
Right.
And I mean, I played basketball probably every day. Generally almost every day growing up, but I never played on an organized team. Like most kids, a lot of kids just don't play anymore, or they phase out too early. So again, like how I knew my role was to go to work and design some of the shoes, but my responsibility was that of the collective team, which was to grow the culture of the game, which was under the umbrella of growing the culture of sport. If you bumped into anybody, this is in the 90s and early 2000s at Nike, you bumped into anybody on campus, you didn't even know who they were. You could look in their eyes and you're like, oh, I know what you're up to today. Right? we're all trying to grow the culture, you know? And I would, hug some kid if they walked out of the store, with their first pair of basketball shoes and it had 3 stripes on them. I didn't care. Because I just want to grow the culture of the game. Now, I believe that, and I tried to put the best shoes on the wall in the most, the coolest shoes that then performed the best. So then once that kid fell in love with the game, they'd go back they'd hear about Nike. They go, oh, you know what? Let me try on those Nikes. Those are cool. And they put them on. They're like, oh, dang, these are nice. I can jump higher in these. I can run faster in these.
Yeah.
And then they could walk out of the store with the Nikes. That. But honestly, we just wanted to grow the culture of the game and inspire people with like walking down the mall and seeing them out, walking down walking past Foot Locker or wherever, and you look through in the window and you're like, yo, what are those?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we had to do that first. You're like, dang, what the heck is that? And you walk in, you pick them up, you're like, oh, these are light, these are nice, these are whatever, like they feel good. I wonder what they feel like and look like on my feet. Can I get a size 12? Put on a size 12, we kind of jump up and down them and like, dang, these are nice. Look in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm all about these. And you pay for them, you walk out. And then you meet the girl that you're interested in and, whatever, like things start happening, right? The story starts building. And now, you have these communities and somebody sees those shoes for the first time in the room at the gathering. And they're like, I remember when, or I saw those. But it can even be, like, oh, last year when I saw those, or I saw those last week or whatever. Like that's what we need to keep building and creating. And part of this whole thing for me is to also educate the next generation that it's the stories that matter, and also educate the companies that it's the stories that matter. Because if it doesn't resonate with somebody emotionally and doesn't follow through with performance functionally, it's just a fad. Like, could the fad last for 10 years and make a company $1 billion? Yeah, but who cares? Well, the executives care, but at the end of the day, not going to do anything for the greater good. Right. But if we can do something that people get fired up about emotionally, and they break barriers for them in a performance way or a whatever, anything, and they make their life better, and they keep those shoes, and then they send them to Restore Kicks on Instagram to rebuild. Like all the product that you can use to polish up your shoes and make them last longer, and like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I know I speak for the masses that we appreciate you choosing sneakers over toothbrushes. So it's very important.
That is crazy. I've spent 3 years in Amsterdam. I haven't been there. Last time I was there was 8 years ago, and it was still there. There's a store in Amsterdam in a place called the 9 Streets. It's 3 blocks by 3 blocks of 9 streets, and all these cool little boutique stores. There's a little boutique store in Amsterdam. It was all they sold were toothbrushes.
Wow.
Packed with every kind of toothbrush you could possibly think of. And I actually bought a bunch of them and sent them back to Nike Design in Beaverton and made a little display, made a little cool thing for them. And I was like, look at all these toothbrushes, like all the different performance and all the different vibe. Like there was one that it just had, it was like the first light up toothbrush that I'd ever seen. And it was called a the brand was Firefly, I think. And the kid, you take the toothbrush and then bang it on the countertop, and then it would start flashing. And then you start brushing your teeth.
Oh, wow.
And then 60 seconds later, it would turn off. And so that was like you got to keep brushing your teeth until the light turns off.
Yeah.
Like, how cool was that?
I gotta get my kid one of those.
I was gonna say, that sounds like something for
I gotta get my son one of those. He would love that.
Funny enough, they probably got that idea from British Knights. Because they're
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Scott asked in the chat. He said, "AC, did you know this community existed back when you were working for Nike?"
Oh, good question. Yeah, it was called Nike Talk, and people told me never to read it. I'm such an emotional person. Like I got choked up earlier, right? I'd get to work and somebody's like, "Yo, have you seen Nike? Have you read Nike Talk yet?" I'm like, "No, why?" And then, "Oh yeah, don't." Because somebody would be like trashing on one of the shoes that I just designed, and I'd be like, get all depressed. But it was, that Nike Talk was probably the beginning. in terms of like an organized community. And then Kicks Magazine, and then Slam, or Slam, and then Kicks Magazine. But I guess the community existed in sport. Like you could go to the playground and that was the community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were kids that were just hanging out, watching the game, watching other kids play, and like that again. Yeah, that was the community. And then, meeting people like Balbito, him introducing us to other people. I've talked to Balbito about this. Back in the day, we would go to New York and meet, and that was the community, like the city of New York, and the people that you would meet that were part of the culture. And Balbito was, could be like an interpreter of the culture with us and connect us with people. And he was just part of the community. Like we became friends. And now the Balbito of New York is an influencer, right? And it's probably more difficult to get to. I don't know if they are like an intimate, like a sincere, authentic part of that community. Like, you don't know, like they're all like, and it's kind of a paid to play model. Like it's just different. I'm not saying one is good, bad, the other, like, but it's just different. And it's interesting to me. We would, I don't like go look. I mean, I haven't been to a Complex Con, but I saw some of the photos on Instagram and wow.
Yeah. It's different. I've never been either, but
we've never been.
I've seen photos too.
And those are the type of people that I want to bring in the room. Like, I think, I don't know. I mean, you've met some of the more famous people of the community, and the right ones in the right place. Like, they're just one of us. Like, they're they never intended to be put up on a pedestal, but they are, and now they're using that to raise a family and maybe in some cases raise their great grandkids that haven't been born yet. If they're so lucky. Mm-hmm. And for that to happen, like when I went to SneakerCon, like people that are raising families by reselling shoes, that's amazing. Like, that's so awesome. I prefer the people that are doing that and they know the story behind the shoe and they can share the story and that's meaningful to them. But I'm not like, if somebody, and I've met people, I can ask a couple of questions I know pretty quickly. And there are some people that you would know in the industry that are pretty big, and you ask them some questions and they don't.
Clueless.
They don't know the stories.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Totally fine. Like a community is like the values that pull a community together, like the core of that community, like that's like the magnet, right? That everybody's just like locked into. The further you are from the magnet, it's a little that pulse that just a little bit weaker, right? But you're kind of pulling people away, you kind of ebb and flow, and it's cool. Those people are cool to have, and it's good to have those people around. I'm trying to figure out how do I put our arms around all of those people and also bring together that core to really strengthen, because I think that the strength of that magnet is wavering. So how do we bring that core together, energize the strength of that magnet so that it can radiate even stronger and bring even more people on? And maybe, so what is that? Like, how do you navigate that? How do you build that? That's what all this is about.
So for us, I know when, like, for example, SneakerCon, when we used to go to SneakerCon was like almost like a family reunion for us, because we all live in different places, and we would meet up in Atlanta, and it was just like being with your family for those days. We'd go out, go to sneaker stores, have dinner together, go to SneakerCon, meet our other friends, have dinner with them, and that's what we would mainly be there for. So it's like outside of SneakerCon is SneakerCon. You're gonna see, you know, the shoes that are there, and it's SneakerCon has changed over the years because it seems like all the tables are very similar. Whereas in the past you had different tables, and you know, people taking pictures of your shoes, and you meeting new people and asking you where you're from. Oh, what's your Instagram? And following you. And I think that kind of went away a little bit, where you don't get that anymore. You don't get that meeting new people and making new friends and, you know, building a bond from there at, you know, at a sneaker convention that y'all are, you know, just happen to meet up at in a September or October, and you are from two sides of the world.
Can you go back in time and under, like, what was the tipping point? What can you say, like, oh, because this happened, that's when things started really shifting?
Mhm.
Or is there one, or can you go back in time, like in those types of movies, like I mean, Back to the Future, I guess, like, what's the one thing you would change back in time so that it would be different today?
I think the older sneaker cons, which I went to the later ones, but the older sneaker cons, they would actually have collectors bring their collections just to show versus selling and making money.
It wasn't financially motivated before.
Right. I think it's a little bit
so
more.
How do you keep? So how do we keep that? I'm going to keep saying we because I need your help. How do we keep that from happening with the gathering?
I mean, just like how you had people bringing like the shoes that they had and just showcasing them. And not having a, I don't know if you would want to say pay to play type of environment, but you know, not if somebody does want to buy a shoe, it's because they actually want the shoe. It's not it's not
monetary value that they're looking for.
Right.
How about this? What if next year, because I tried to, we in the emails, if you read the invite, we tried to, my idea was like, because they're conversation pieces. The idea is like, I think I even said, we said 5, you know, bring 5 shoes that, you know, that kind of embody who you are, that tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then all of a sudden people were bringing 5 bags. I'm like, I think I said 5.
You ran out of room.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate because, I mean, some people I think traveled with quite a few, but there are a few local people that, you know, had a little bit of an unfair advantage. And they didn't really, like, it didn't, I think people were trying to figure out this past year, like, what is it? Like, do I bring a bunch? Do I do, like, how am I displaying these? Do I get my own table? Like, and I purposefully have done this every year. Well, purposely this past year, we had table space, but even the guys wanted to organize a certain way. And I'm like, nope, this is the way I want it done, because I was testing something to see what the community would do and how they would react and what they, you know. And so now I'm just, you know, kind of jumping forward and sharing with you and just seeing your reaction is, what if you could only bring 3 half pairs? And those are what you bring, and that is your story. Like, I even thought about, what if you were just to bring 1, and that's when you're at the gathering, like, you just carry it with you. So you'd be like, oh, you'd be like, oh, that's the like, what it like. So it's almost like a conversation piece, a barrier breaker, an icebreaker. If you don't know the person, but you know the shoe, hey, cool shoe, why'd you bring it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, my next step would be like, you have to wear it around your neck.
Like a gold chain.
Right? No, like Jordan, right? Like you have
Jordan did.
If you're going to expand it and you want to bring more people in, I don't think that's a bad idea, because, you know, the more, you know, if people are bringing suitcases of shoes and you're adding more people, that means more space. So therefore, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing people don't completely appreciate. I don't think is like, the venue is square footage.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings take up square footage. It's simple math and physics. So at the end, like there will come a time where, I mean, it was already this year, you know, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out the size, you know, with the guys that are helping me or have been helping me from the very beginning, and now part of this whole thing. And now you guys are like, we got to push on the numbers, right? Like, how big is too big?
Mm-hmm.
Are there two things? Is there an open party night? Everyone and anyone is welcome, and then the next night is a smaller, you know, core group that's kind of coming together to talk about the state of the union, kind of the state of the community, and what do we do next year, and how do we build like. So,
I think for me, I think it starts with the amount of people that is in attendance. And then just say, like, we'll just use this past year. If it was, I think, roughly 50 people that was invited. If we say 50 and you say, well, I got X amount of square footage. So that means these 50 people can only bring, like you said, half pairs. We'll just say 4. That'll be enough room for everybody to display their shoes. And it'll keep down on oversaturating of shoes falling off the counter or the table or wherever we can get them at. Because I seen some out on the staircase.
I was gonna say we had shoes on the stairwell.
And I mean, it's an ideal. It's about. It's just I think it starts with the amount of people that actually attends, and then I guess that gives you a number of, okay, so how many shoes can each person bring to where we still have enough room for everybody and it's not overcrowding. Not saying that it was overcrowding, but I guess it's just trying to appease everybody to bring their pairs and bring certain pairs that really means something to them.
Yeah, because you want everybody to be represented.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it starts with just the amount of people.
Could you guys boil it all down to one pair?
Oh, I could easily.
Ooh,
it's easy for me.
Yeah,
it's easy for me.
And I don't think I've ever. I guess I've asked that, but that's been part of my hypothesis based on signals that I've received. Is that, I mean, yeah, some people, if you give them, you know, an inch, they'll take a mile, right? Like everybody will take what they can get.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do limit it, people can't like it. For a lot of people, it's one pair. Like, what's the one pair that did X, Y, or Z for? And I don't want to even like just bring the one pair or bring the one half pair that you want to share that is most meaningful to you. And then you decide on why it is that meaningful. Like, I don't even want to put the tipping point of when you got into sneakers or the blah, 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 or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, that's what matters to you. And that's why it's that one pair. And so I'm leaning towards that because, like I said, I went at the sneaker con that I went to. I mean, that was because I talked with someone that helped build that, and he talked about the beginning of it and shared exactly what you guys did. And so since then, I've been wondering, like, what's the one thing that I could incorporate into next year that would keep that from happening in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got some amazing feedback from someone that, I don't know if they're on this call or not, but they were there last year, and he was really bummed. I think he brought only 3, but they were like super meaningful to him. They weren't that meaningful. Like, people weren't like, oh, I remember, like, they weren't grails by any means. They were his grails.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And and ironically, that's what is important to all of us.
Right.
But then all these other people started bringing in bags and bags, and it's like all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, I'll just keep those to myself because now everybody else has got." They kind of turned it into something else, and it never. I don't think the energy that created was amazing, and the stories those created was amazing. But I don't think that happened because of the scale. I think it happened because of the stories. And again, if you boiled it all down to, instead of having 100 pairs there were only 80 pairs there for each person, or 150 pairs down to 80, or whatever it was. I don't think, this is part of my hypothesis to test next year, I don't think it may actually have made the event better. Because you could have, you would have gotten deeper into that one story instead of scratching across all of those.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
More substance behind it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
You
it
bring out
great.
that, you have that one pair, and that is your story, and people
You
get
know
to
what?
hear that story.
Again, you guys are helping me so much. Like that word substance, like that's it. Like yes, we have all had there's many things about us. There's many things we've done, blah, blah, blah. But there's substance about us that I want to get to. And how do you get to that substance in an evening?
That
Right?
one
So
shoe.
Yeah, that one.
got one-
In that
you got-
case, that one shoe. Yeah.
And that's the icebreaker. That's the conversation starter. But then you quickly find out what the story behind that shoe, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I shared a similar childhood, or I did something similar last year, or I did whatever, or like that's where you start realizing we're all human on this planet. We all share this. All of our blood is red.
We do have similar stories. Like when you said when you was younger and you was going cutting grass to get those shoes. I did the same thing. I was out cutting grass to get those shoes.
Yeah.
You know, that was just one of the things that we did down south. Hey, my folks didn't have it like that either.
I think you were able to you were able to cut more because your grass grew faster than ours.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't put them on layaway.
Mm-hmm.
Got some more grass and got them off layaway.
And next year, I plan on having more younger. There's a limited number of invites. There's a number of people that are, I want to keep building it from the year prior. So we've talked about, how do you do that in a timely manner so that if somebody can't make it, then that can be passed on. That invite can be passed on to someone else. Like we're figuring that all out. But one thing we have talked about is what is the average age? What is the gender? What is what's the mix of everybody in the room? Mm-hmm. So we need to keep pushing on that and tweaking it and changing it and massaging it. So this organization that I'm going to be working with, hopefully will bring in younger kids. And I believe that we'll find out that they might not be mowing lawns, but they're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to bring in the right mix of, there might be a kid there that just, his parents pay for him. I don't know, but there's a reason why that kid is there. Because he or she is, or that person is one of us. And we've started to develop a set of ethos, a set of values that we shared on the Instagram, which is at The Stories That Matter. And that may tweak. And I don't even line up with those values perfectly. Again, I'm still trying to refine my shape in this world. I got work to do. And
we all do.
Perfect. Exactly. Not everybody's perfect, but at least we have an ethos that we can kind of all live up to, and we can use to, if I were to say, hey, each one of you guys can invite one person for next year, and this is the ethos that we want to continue to develop, then you guys know you probably would be like, oh, I know the perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if we didn't have that, you'd be like, oh, I wonder, I'd probably have 5 people I could invite,
Mm-hmm.
But we want to get to that, one person that adds, that substance, that depth.
Have you thought about maybe rotating people out? You know, like just not necessarily. I don't know how big you want it to grow, but you know, since some people have already been giving other people a shot to come and experience what others have experienced. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you get an invite, and I did not mind paying the donation that you asked for.
Absolutely,
it was well worth it. It was well worth it. You know, so
and then some.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I'm getting chills just talking about it, thinking about it now. You know what I mean? So, is that something that you may have thought about?
We have. If that's a difficult, well, I'll ask you guys. Like, I know you'd be disappointed, but if we said, hey, you know, could we take your invite and pass it on to someone else? You know, what goes through your mind?
I mean, of course, it would be like I would love to go back, but on the same note, how could I be mad at it to give somebody another shot, to give somebody a shot at and experience what we experienced? Because I mean, if we being real, I think about that trip all the time.
It's hard to top.
I'm still kind of like on a high from that trip. So, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. Me personally, I mean, I would have loved for Caddy to have come. I would give up my spot for Caddy.
Hey, you know the crazy part is, you know, I would have gave up my spot for you.
You know, for him to experience that. You know what I mean? So I couldn't be mad about it because I had the opportunity.
Exactly.
You guys could have picked anybody else. You know, there's thousands of other people that probably felt like they should have been there.
Hundreds of
felt
thousands.
like they should have had the opportunity to go there. But for you guys to invite us, that in itself was enough for me. And then for me to be able to go, how could I be mad? How could I be mad about that? That's just my thought.
You gave me a thought. I mean, I will most likely be reaching back out to you guys to bang some ideas on. That is one reason why I'm starting to think about. Like I said, I've done two in New York. They were very small, so I have an idea on how to. I have an idea on how to kind of grow it and make it feel special to more people. But at the same time, there will be a time where we probably will need to continue to limit, and it'll go beyond. And so, yeah, this idea of passing it on is an interesting one. So, yeah, I appreciate that, you sharing that, because that helps.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a thought. I think we had kind of talked about it. We was like. I know me and Black had talked about it, and he was like, "Would we love to go back? Of course, but will we be mad if we didn't get the invite and somebody else did? Not at all.
We can't be mad.
Not at
Can't
all.
be mad. That's being selfish now. Can't be selfish.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: like, how do you? Because when you asked if I could come on, you said it was an hour, and now we're already an hour and 40. How do you stop these things? Because we could talk for. I know we could talk for hours, likely days, and my guess is we could go on for years. So
I think for us, I guess we kind of try to keep it around like 2 hours, but really it's up to you whenever you, because if you have something you need to do, just let us know. Because when you send me the email, I thought it might just be for an hour anyway. But once we get up here and we get to talking, and we, you know, the conversation starts flowing, it's just one of those things where you kind of lose track of time.
Yeah,
it's good conversations. Good conversations.
For sure. Well, I still got a little bit of a trial. I'm curious if you guys have pulled out any questions or have been kind of checking out the comments. But yeah, if anybody has any immediate questions or want to dive into a particular shoe, or if there's something happening in popular culture that you guys want any. By the way, no question.
I do have one question about a shoe real quick, and I'm gonna I know Caddy's probably got a question because he's a huge LeBron fan.
We just got
you know it.
I think me and Black was online looking at some of the shoes you done, and you did am I taking your question, Black?
Go ahead, man.
You did a outdoor basketball shoot that never came to light.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, really, that's one that I really did like. Actually got that one might have gotten the craziest response on Instagram.
It was nice.
Mhm.
It was nice.
I will say back in the day, but I also think today Nike does, from what I hear, both from from Nike and then also from other companies, Nike does an amazing job. The talent level across all facets is such that very little energy is wasted. Very little resources are wasted. So time, money, material. So the line plan that's created is done. Like, you have to grow. If you're the head of, let's just go down basketball. If you're the head of Nike basketball footwear, let's just keep it to Nike basketball. Like, your job is to grow the business. If you don't, you're not going to be in that job very long, right?
Mhm.
So you can do that in a number of ways. You can grow pairs, you can grow population, you can grow, meaning the market share. You can grow the line. You can go from 10 styles to 12. You can go from 10 styles and 3 SKUs of each for 30 to 5 SKUs of each for 50. Like, it's up to you. Like, you got to figure it out. I think a lot of companies, the easy way is just do more, right? Do more. Well, that's great, but you got to sell it into the retailers that only have a wall so big, right? And they already have other brands. And so your product line's got to be pretty damn good if you're going from 10 to 12, because that means now you got to get 2 more spots on the wall. And if those aren't better than what's already on the wall or what they've already seen, then those shoes are not going to be bought by the retailer.
Mhm.
So, we're working on briefs. We're working with the product management team, product marketing team, to design what we think will grow the business. And they're not trying to waste our time. We only have a limited amount of time and resources of materials and development and factory space and all that. So, at that time of that particular shoe, somebody, I can't remember exactly if it made it even to sales meeting. Like, it might have just, a couple of the shoes might have gotten such great reaction. We're like, oh, we can grow the business with these 8 and just do more of them, like, and save the company more money and take less risk, whatever. And that one shoe that I happened to design kind of fell away. Another thing that could have happened is outdoor basketball was starting to kind of like it went from its peak with probably the Raid, right? Like that
Raid,
whole,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there's still kids growing up on they don't even have access to an indoor basketball court, but the popular culture of outdoor basketball was starting to wane. So again, maybe that's why that shoe kind of like just fell off the table, off the wall, before it even got to, and because Nike didn't have digital back then, keep in mind, right? So there may be some shoes, I don't know, but there may be some shoes that some companies, Nike included, that take a risk on, like, hey, we'll still build this and just sell it online. Other retailers aren't going to buy it, but we're going to take a risk and see if we can get it to catch fire some other way. But yeah, back then there was no .com, so always dependent on the wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
And even Nike retail was very limited. There was a time when Phil Knight said he was never going to do Nike retail. They had Nike store,
Wow.
They had Nike towns, but that was it. That was more of like kind of flagship, more like experiential. I mean, they were way ahead of their time.
Oh
way,
yeah, Nike Towns. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
which they haven't even gone back to, which is ironic to me. If you go to China, they have retail in China. In fact, Jeff Staple just opened. Did you guys see that? A new Staple in Shanghai, and he has a big pigeon.
Mm.
The entire pigeon, huge, is taking up part of the store, and then its head is popping out the window, and it's massive.
Oh yeah, I seen
Oh,
that.
wow.
I seen that.
Sick.
Yeah, I seen
It's
that.
so cool. Well, they do those things to attract people to come because their Instagram is even bigger. It's called Redbook. They have, you go to like Shanghai, and there's people, a lot of teenagers, but 20 somethings that have hired professional photographers to take pictures of them, and they're fully outfitted, fully fully doing everything, whatever their style is, in wherever they want to take their photos. So retailers are doing these things to attract those people.
Mm.
Ooh, Nike Town would be packed. They wouldn't, I don't know if you'd be selling much out of there, but they would be like packed because they were like the most coolest experience, all the cool things in there, and
The
amazing.
monitors.
All of it. Ironically, that's what got me here. The whole butterfly, sponges, dominoes, and butterflies. Soaking things up. Went to Nike Town, Portland for the first time. I love, I'm a scuba diver. I love tropical. I love the ocean. They had I loved saltwater fish tanks. They had a huge one. Deschutes sandals were floating in there. And then they had these design sketches of the Deschutes. And I'm like, I was at Art Center at the time, like, oh, of course, somebody's got to design them. But I'd never even thought about design and Nike and whatever. I was all about other things. And long story short, I found out that Nike has a design team. Did what I did to become the first design intern there, and the rest is history. Like that Nike Town. If that Nike Town didn't exist, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
Literally. So that's another reason why, like, it's just ironic to me, like, and they want to get back to, bringing people into the physical space. Well, give them a reason.
Yeah.
So that experience is important.
Yeah. Nike Town was definitely, like you said, ahead of its time. That poster above my TV, I got that from Nike Town, Atlanta, back in the mid '90s. I don't know if you could see it.
The very top one.
Right. It's the one where they had the 94 retro card. That's where they got the 94 retro card from. Yeah, I got that from Nike Town, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Somebody, Wendell asked if my top 5 of 2025 before I go. That's a tough. Like that's one thing. And I don't know. Like, it's just who I am. I'm not going to change this part of me, but I'm not in this for the sneaker thing of it. Like, all the collabs, like all the things that have happened, I think are super cool. Like, I can't keep up with all of it. Like I want to create, I'm going to use my time to do what I can to create footwear that causes an emotional reaction that engages with someone to pick it up and try it on, and then functionally performs the way they want it to and actually makes their life better. And to me, that's design. That's my job. I can't keep up with all of the collabs and the old shoes that are recolored and redesigned. Like, and by the way, those aren't designers, right? Like, product design is from the ground up. So if you're doing color and material on another, you might be a graphic designer or whatever, but you're styling. In fact, Virgil told Tinker he felt uncomfortable with the whole thing. He's like, I'm not a designer. Like, I might be a stylist. Those shoes, like, this is a big bomb. I don't know, but he didn't design them. Like, he finished a lot of, like, he kind of put some finishing touches, but all that deconstructed, cut up, re-put together, that like kind of bigger. I don't even know if the zip tie thing was his, but that might have been. That aside, but that style of shoe
Mm-hmm.
already existed. He came into Nike. He's like, "Yo, what's that? Those are sick." It came out of ISPA. That whole, I mean, think about it. Like when that
They did they did the 3D scan of the twos. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones that I forget what was it, the abbreviation.
The deconstructed. I got you.
Yeah. So that also, designers at Nike were already doing that. Like that was their idea, and it was not resonating within the campus. Like nobody knew what to do with it. And then Virgil comes along. It's like, yo, those are the ones. Let's develop that. And so they did. And they were blessed. They were stoked that, finally, it took someone else, but that's cool. They're like a partner and whatever. The sad thing is this, the full story, like we talked about earlier, was a bit fabricated or just, I guess, part of the story was left out. Gotcha. But yeah, so my top shoes would be surprising to people. It's like shoes that changed the game. Like, and I don't know. I don't even know if I have 5, to be honest. Like, how many can you put your finger on? Can you say these 5 shoes emotionally connected with people and functionally created a difference and made the world a better place? Are there 5 shoes in 2025? I'm biased, and then they're 2 years old now, but I still get people telling me that the EQLZ 247 and 360, they've never
fire.
They haven't played basketball for 10 years, 20 years. Their kids, like I know people that their kids, they resonate with those kids. Are like, yo, Dad, what are those? I want to get some of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then older people saying, I haven't played game. Like I fell in love with the game again. I know someone whose wife works for Oscar de la Renta, one of the top fashion. She would not let him out of the house on a Friday or Saturday night or out to dinner whenever they're going wearing a pair of sneakers. Are you kidding me? Like, this guy dresses to the, and he said, fine. He brought those in, the white, black, of the Phantoms. And she's like, you can wear those.
Nice.
And he plays basketball in them and loves the performance of them. So that, to me, like, that's, and I'm not like, I was one of many that helped create that. And that's the other thing with design. Like, and Tinker would say it all the time. Like, back in the day, Tinker's, ideas would stay on a piece of paper. But the developers, and I tell people this, all people that I mentor, if you're not inclined for design or creativity or drawing or whatever, that's okay. Like, you can still find your funky little shape in a puzzle piece or an empty puzzle at Nike in a creation team making shoes. Because there's developers, there's marketers, there's engineers, there's merchandisers, there's a whole team that makes that come to life. So the 247, like, and by the way, like, that includes all of the partners and vendors over in Asia. Like, if it weren't for them, here's a little, so for those people that have stayed on for an hour and 54 minutes.
What you got? You on the big screen.
Oh, wow, man.
Wow.
How cool is that?
I mean, well, not very, because it didn't look very good. And some of the guys at EQLZ were like, wait, there's the outsole. And people were like, wait, what? We got to change. We got to redesign that, because that's not going to sell. No, hold on. Time, like, slow down. It's just the first prototype. I have other, here's the 3D. Yeah, here's all of the printed parts.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, this is me drawing on the side, so I can see, like, wow, this is really fat through here and not very sexy through here, and pushing and pulling the millimeters. This is great. Here's the next printed one. So do you guys know what these dots are?
Pressure points?
Nope. So we got this to a point in 3D. So all the 3D softwares, and this was printed. So new technology, this is what they do now, printing the bottom. Well, there was something going on the medial side. Like this is way too undercut. And when they brought it out, like I did all the drawings and all the 3D printing came out and it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't sexy. So walking through the factory, there was somebody mixing up Bondo. You guys know what Bondo is with cars?
Yeah, for cars.
Yes. Yeah. So they used that on these. They used Bondo back old school, and they were mixing it up. And I'm like, "Yo, can I have some of that?" He's literally mixing it, and it's about to kick off. It's about to harden.
Yeah.
And so I took this model and slapped on a bunch of Bondo.
You did body work on the midsole.
Yes, sir. Body work. So you can see on EQLZ's Instagram and somewhere on mine, I'm in like a little box, like looks like I'm grinding away on something. I'm grinding on this, like I'm shaping this. So I did all of this by hand. And these dots are for laser scanning, so it can recognize. So I said, now that I've done all this handwork, now laser scan this and put that into the 3D.
Wow.
So that's how all of that happened. And I have actually
You got a little time. You got time. You got time.
You got plenty of time.
Okay, I'm gonna. No, I can't.
You can.
Let me. No, because I don't want to put. I don't want to. Rain check. Remind me to ask EQLZ if it's okay to do something, and then we'll take a rain check, and I can show you something that I have on my wall over there. That
Okay.
I won't
Gotcha.
something else. So this just to show the translation. So this is before and after.
I saw you talking about the
This
upper,
was
like
so
the
clean.
top. So how did you go from the prototype with a
And look how fat this. Look how Look how fat this is right here.
Yeah.
And just how flat and fat. Right.
Compared,
See,
yeah.
right through here.
Much more sleek.
Right. Those are just millimeters. That's why I say the millimeters matter.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And those are my two kind of mottos. It's when creating, it's the millimeters that matter, and it's the stories that matter. So
when is
the
EQL's runner coming out?
Huh. That's a good question. As soon as anybody that's on the call is dreaming, I take calls for people and do advisory for people that want to start a brand. It is to start a footwear brand.
Yeah.
Real difficult. Ask Jalen Brown how it's going and tell him to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long. Do you guys know when? How long ago do you think it was when I bought and wore and I wore them? My first pair of On running shoes or my first pair of Hoka running shoes. Bought them, wore them, ran in them. How long ago do you think that was?
Couple of years.
Couple, 2,
Probably
3,
5-10 years.
5,
I would
10.
say.
But you said that. How long has it been since you bought? I would say recently.
Yeah, I would say maybe
Probably within this last year.
16 years ago.
Oh wow!
Really?
On and Hoka are 16 years old.
Wow.
And if I showed you, same way, if I showed you the shoes that I bought, Or better yet, if we took those shoes to their flagship and put them on the wall with the rest of their product line, you'd be like, oh,
You couldn't tell the difference.
they fit right in.
Wow.
They're the least innovative footwear companies on the planet.
But they're effective.
But they changed the game, right? Like they did something that nobody else had done, and to their founders' credit, they didn't change. Like they haven't. Like it takes a long time to get people. That's the other thing with trends. Like, you know, my top 5 shoes. And I told you I'm not trying to call my own. They said, Aaron's top 5. Aaron. I'm just trying to make a story about that. But trends are a funny thing. One of the best things that somebody ever said to me, like in all of the focus groups I've ever done, my favorite thing, this high school girl, she said, you know what? I just want to be different, like everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, how interesting is that?
I know.
So,
I want to be different like everyone else.
That's why I think those collabs are doing so well, right? Like we already know the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been, in many cases, it's already been adopted by popular culture. And now it has an aesthetic about it, a styling about it that is more true to me, that fits me. Like that's my, but they do very limited numbers of them, right? Because there's not that many people out there that can wear that type of shoe.
Right.
Right. So, and that's an established brand of, you know, in many cases of 40, 50, 60, I mean, Adidas, old brands. So yeah, I to an EQLZ runner, we'll get an EQLZ runner going as soon as we can get, you know, EQLZ basketball into popular culture.
Okay.
We're so far from it.
Any signature athletes wearing that sneaker?
That's something else that has been amazing. Like Kyle Kuzma wore it for Media Day, the low that we just recently did, that I'll probably drop now in January. But and he did it on his own. Like nobody's paying him anything. Like we have a lot of your overseas players playing in them. They just like them. That's the one thing that what happened with On is Nike was like so saturated. Like, and they were doing awesome. Like everybody loved Nike, but at the same time, it's like, God, can I just get something else in my closet? And so On comes along, we do a nice looking shoe. People put it on. Like if people are looking for something different, they go to the store, they put them on. They're like, oh, you know what? These are kind of nice, and they're different. And now I can be different, but still not stand out too much. You know, it's like, oh, those are cool. Those are unique, but not, you know, outlandish or whatever. And so people started buying them. But there are a lot of things in popular culture that they instigated. Same with Hoka. You know, they bought their lottery ticket. So they were instigating things to, you know, getting them to the Boys to Men of today. You know, like Britney Spears wearing Hoka. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that went viral. She wore a pair of Hokas, made a big fuss about it. So where EQLZ is still a long way away from success to be able to build out their line, you know, because it's a basketball, and then we would need to tie the story of EQLZ to like why a running shoe, why a runner, what is that? Why does a basketball player need a running shoe?
So slides are amazing though.
Funny enough, are you talking the one that had, like, I don't know if people know that it looks like a plus and a minus on the side?
I didn't realize that, but yeah, they absolutely do.
So you can take a picture and Google image and try to dig into what that means.
Bees.
Yes. So plus minus, dig into what that looks, what that is, that slide is 6 years. That slide is 6 years old.
These are some of the best slides. I'm telling you.
That slide probably put me on this call. Like that slide led them to build up enough. They tried to do a performance basketball shoe and it failed miserably. They lost a lot of money. That's one other thing. Like they've been around for 6 years. They burned through their first round of investment, trying to get to where they got. And then, I was able to help myself and some others were able to help them get a little bit further. And now they're trying to, rebuild, or continue to build on the foundation of essentially that slide and some other things. That slide is there's a cool story behind it.
Cool.
I got a question real quick. You always get this question, like, what's your favorite shoe? And by you being a designer, you have multiple upon multiple designed sneakers that you have done over the years. What would you say is your favorite? And I know you treat all of them like your child. But what will be your favorite design that you said, man, this one here is, I love this one? What is that favorite design, and what is the design inspiration for that?
That is such a tough question, but because it is the stories that I resonate with, and one of them is that LeBron, the Zoom generation. I've done this before, but I'll show you. My whole office is full of stories. So this is the.
What?
Oh wow!
What?
Oh man, come on, man.
So this is what we showed him. Literally this pair.
Oh man!
Holy moly!
And that is not a Hummer. It's not made off a Hummer. Just letting people know.
So these are.
Is that the 5 dots?
Alpha Project?
Yes.
Well, so the Alpha Project. For us, the Alpha Project meant it was created with the Alpha, whether it was one person, an athlete, or an Alpha group, a high school team. And they didn't have to even be like the world's best. It was just like people that we felt were the population we were trying to serve with a particular project. And so that's why we would put 5 dots, what Nike, the bar that Nike set corporately was different. We wanted to set a much higher bar. There were signature shoes back at that time that we didn't put the Alpha dots on because that signature player wasn't involved enough that we felt was worthy enough to put the 5 dots on. LeBron was intimately involved in this project, so absolutely needed the 5 dots. And there are 5 dots right here.
Oh, never even paid attention to that.
And if you count these dots up, they all, including the 5, it's basically the 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 people intimately involved in the creation of this at Nike, and that kind of represents those people. But yeah, so this is one of the, and there's so many stories, personal stories. The person that talking about how important our Asia partners, ours that still have many. And in fact, when I'm telling you this lining, the sphere lining. So this is one of the innovations. This is what helped make this the most comfortable shoe LeBron ever put on, or ever wore, as he said.
Wow.
And that's why part of this is like, he, one, it embodies who he is personally, I believe, and it connected emotionally with the population we were trying to serve. But it also met his standards, which was being the most comfortable basketball shoe he'd ever wear. And that's what I asked him in the beginning of the very first meeting we had. I said, "What's important to you?" And he said, "Comfort." And I told him literally at that moment, I said, "We will make you the most comfortable shoe you've ever worn." He put not this pair on because it was not his size, but at the same meeting, we did have a pair in his size, and he tried them on and he jumped around in them like a little kid, like we all did, putting on a new pair of shoes. And he said, "Coop, these are the most comfortable." Damn, that's what you said you were going to do. Literally what happened. And his mom, Gloria, was there, and she was just like, "Oh my God," I couldn't believe it. Because she was there in the first meeting. By the way, Gloria does not get enough recognition on this planet.
Nah, she don't really.
Amazing lady. How that woman raised him to be who he was and continues to be. Holy moly! Like she's the one with the gift. But anyway, so this sphere lining had never been created before. I had this idea, and I had a friend who worked at a company, a materials company, and I met with him, and we did it together, and created it. And now I've known him for. We were just emailing later or last night. I've known him for 30 years now. So that's another reason why I love this shoe.
Relationships, man.
And then I don't know if you guys know this either. Have you ever seen this? So if you ever want to know if you have a I don't know. I don't want to pause that. It says it's connected. The microphone's connected. So maybe the microphone is on my phone. But if you look closely, I don't know if I can get the light. You see, well, if you have an original pair, you can shine. It's not working, but you can shine a light right here, so it penetrates the subtle mirror coating that's here. And his LeBron logo, his name is molded on the back side of this.
Oh, a hidden feature, the Easter egg.
Easter egg.
Yeah, you can't.
Insane.
Get it in the right light. It's on. I put it on one of my Instagrams, but yeah. So that's because that's the crazy thing. I was still working at Nike when they retroed this, and nobody cared to walk across the campus to ask me anything. And they ended up putting too much of the mirror coating on it. I don't even know if the mold has, because they have to remake molds because they don't can't keep around steel molds forever. So they had to remake the molds, and I don't even know if they knew them back there or if they even did it. I have no idea. But that's one way to tell if you have.
That's on the OGs. On the OGs.
No eBay authentication needed. Just do it yourself.
Yes,
That is crazy.
Well, speaking of retros, how does
Caddy, I saw those dots. I said, man, that's insane.
That is crazy. And I was sitting here with the shoe too, by the way.
Yeah. That's
Oh
insane.
wow! Yes, that's one of my favorite. Also, just the whole story. Yeah, the entire story behind it and how we're LeBron. The whole thing was crazy. The craziest.
So I got a quick question. Is there any shoe that you have done that you would like to see retroed?
I just opened up my drawer. There's a shoe that I would like to see continued, which I plan on doing because Nike doesn't know. Oh, here's another one, by the way. Here's another. We did one without the.
Oh, with a real tongue.
Well, like a half tongue, so the.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could kind of slip in it, which I think is super cool. Wow. But yeah. So there's one shoe that I would love to, and like I said, I am planning on eventually continuing because I think a particular athlete proved that it was one of, at least, but I would argue the most innovative. And that's and so I'd love to continue where we left off, which is this shoe. Do you guys know who wore this? Serena.
Yeah.
So one of the most powerful athletes on the planet, believe it or not, also pretty quick, but one of the most powerful for sure. And tennis shoes at the time, and even more so now, were really stiff and non-compliant. Like you can't bend them very well. They're, and that's why a lot of players are now sliding and doing all crazy stuff. My belief was that you could play better, faster, and more powerfully if they were more nimble. So just like ABS brakes in a car, if you want to stop faster, you shutter the brake caliper, right? Old cars, they slam on and then they just skid. So if you look at the difference of some tennis players that, stutter step or slide, like stutter stepping is the faster way to play to get from point A to point B and back to point A. Well, so this shoe, Serena actually thought she needed more of those shoes, more shoe, bigger shoe, more supportive shoe. I argued with her that, she needed less shoe. So, the unique thing about this shoe? Wendell Dillon, by the way. We got to bring him on. Like audience of one now. So Wendell's getting to see all the good things. So you guys know what's unique about this shoe?
It looks extremely light.
Yeah.
Extremely light. And
does it have a?
Oh.
Yeah, you.
Oh wow.
Like that's what Serena wore to win 7 more majors.
What you just did is our current authentication test, sir. That's what we do currently in the state of sneakers. Exactly what you just did.
Yeah. Old tennis shoe versus new tennis shoe. But yeah, so that's one thing that if I would like continue on, but to answer your question directly, if there was one to retro, somebody I know just bought a Pippen 3, but retro is the Pippen 3 playoff edition. White, the one that has the steel gray gunmetal sole on the white upper. That's the one.
Yeah, it's a great choice.
What's the inspiration behind that one?
A little embarrassed to say, so it started to become cliche back then, but his Porsche, but more about how the Porsche, most about how the design of the Porsche, how like you can drive that car to the grocery store and you can take it on the racetrack.
Right.
That was another thing with Vince Carter too. By the way, Vince was the first athlete that I knew, actually even popular culture entertainer, artist, musician, athlete, you name it. The first one I knew that drove a Bentley. And I'm like, why a Bentley? Like you could have a Lamborghini, you could have a Ferrari. Like why a Bentley? Because they're just as fast as a Ferrari, and I can go in more places. So he felt like he could, you could pull up next to a Ferrari and beat it off the line, or you could pull up to the country club or wherever he was going, and it was just more diverse. Like it just went more places, which I was like, damn, that's cool. So I used the Bentley for something. Actually, here's another. One of these days I'll share it on the Instagram. But again, for the people that have stayed now for What are we at now?
2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
where are you then, sir? No.
for Wendell Dillon, here's another one for you. So the VC2, if you look at the outsole and then the toe tip, that geometry, that design, that some people might call it graphic, but it's we got Terrence Keller in. That is the Bentley grill.
Wow.
So so that was just a little side note. But so the 911 was, and I think that was probably one of the best playing, still is an amazing playing basketball shoe, because it had articulated zoom, it had a carbon plate, perfectly blended carbon plate, meaning not too stiff, not too flexible. And then I created, about cards, about like strut sway bars.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 sway bars on either side of the outsole. Some people would probably think they're just like styling, or whether it's like not meant for anything, but they're actually part of the performance. So they create a torsional so that the shoe can twist,
Wow.
but still have snap. So just like sway bars in a car. So that came from the Scotty's, from his 911. And then there's little details like the emboss of his signature came from embossing of the interior and the stitching and different little details, and the tail light is in the back.
Okay.
So I do
That's
wonder.
dope.
Oh, another one like I probably, the community would kill me if I didn't say the jet flight.
Oh, that's the cult classic right
Nash.
there. That's the cult classic. Right
Nash.
there.
Yeah, the cult classic, exactly. That would be a cool one. Like if I could have one retro to help stoke the culture of the community, it would be that one.
Yeah.
Because if it's one of those, if you know, and then it's got such a cool story behind it that you would appreciate. Like even if you don't like it, I think you'd, no matter who you are, you'd appreciate the story.
Exactly.
So,
Absolutely.
like I said, we could talk for days. And now you have a rain check. So if you remind me, I do have a pretty cool story over there that EQLZ hasn't done. That maybe we could create a Kickstarter or something like pre-sale. If we could get the shoes to pre-sale up to
that would be nice, man.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
and we could get them to build it. But it's a story that I think would resonate with everything we've talked about, because it's about community, it's about culture, they're about being a part of something bigger than yourself, and being yourself, and then celebrating each other, and that at the end of the day, we all have, we're all made up of the same, the same carbon, right? Certainly the same colored blood, and I don't care who you are. Like, again, like sneakers just break it down,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I
Cool.
got 2.5 hours later. Sorry.
No.
You good. I think
It's been a complete treat, man. It's
I think it's just
pleasure.
stories and
It's been an absolute honor,
everything.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably go on too. I mean,
Sure we can.
yeah, the conversation.
We will.
Oh yeah, like I told you, anything you need from us, reach out and let
Please
us know.
let us know. Yeah, definitely let us know.
We'll be more than happy to help.
Just like a good preacher, like my dad would say, just spread the word, brothers.
There it is. Yeah.
We got you. We
Just
got
spread
you.
the word.
We got you.
And the words are simply, it's the stories that matter. And it doesn't need to be sneakers. It's just life. At the end of the day, it's the journey that we have together, the stories we write together, and sure it is. Like there will be material objects that are important to you to the day you die. Likely not many of them, but good likelihood that there will be, and that's okay, right? And those, in many cases, are then handed down, and they're important to other people, and that's so. Those are and that's what creates the conversation that continues to build the culture and that grows the community, and that's just all I want to be a part of, and so whatever we can do as a collective to make that happen and use this platform that we have and culture that we've all created together. And who knows, maybe nothing comes from it, but I'm going to die trying.
But hey, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Appreciate you guys, and we'll continue into the future.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking the gathering and making it bigger and putting your all into it. And
you guys could have absolutely just said, F everybody else, we're just going to kick it here. And we appreciate you guys not choosing to do that and considering the rest of us to embrace and like you just talked about earlier, fostering something bigger, better in the future. We appreciate the opportunity to have been a part of this last go round. So thank you again, Tom, Steve, Andrew, Dom,
everybody.
I'm missing someone else.
Seth.
Absolutely, yes.
And also just the point of just getting our input on what you asking us our input. I think that speaks volumes too, man. So we appreciate you for just listening to what we think.
Well, I'm gonna be needing to listen some more, so I'll be catching up with you guys again soon. Actually, on that, Justin, if you wouldn't mind like putting together, I am old school and have a lot of. The best way for me to organize things is through email. So if you could just connect us all on an email, that would be super helpful.
Okay. I got you.
Last thing before you go, man, I just wanted to shout out your vitality. You're a beacon of vitality for me. I'm big on fitness. I know that you're much older than I am, and you do some amazing things physically. Your goals and everything that you've achieved, especially this year, I think you've just gone crazy. We were at the gathering. You were training for running down a mountain. It's just, it's definitely motivational for me, and I see it. I respect it, and I know it's not easy. So thank you again for being that.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
Ironically, I spent 5 weeks in Hawaii recently. Just got back and did most of my running barefooted. So.
Great place to run. Yeah, great place to run.
But I will augment my bare feet when I need to.
Yes.
All right, guys.
No, hold on. Before you go somewhere, we're gonna close the show out, and then we just want to talk to you real quick, and if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just give us a second, man. Black, I'm Hop 18. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm fine. I'm good.
Carlo.
Caddy.
I'm Black. We're out of here. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
We're Retro Talk Forum. I'm Hot Dog 18. You can find me on IG, and I'm gonna pass it over to my brother. This way.
What's good, people? It's your boy Black Ass.